Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this video series on advanced persistent threat attribution and detection. So in today's lecture, we will look into the 4C model. So 4C model was one of the popular technique in APT attribution method, and we will look into that with a reference of APT1 investigation done by the Mandiant. So let's get started. So, in terms of APT attribution, as I said earlier, APT1 investigation was the state of the art milestone, in terms of APT research. So, based on this, the research publications that was done by Mandiant, there are five People Liberation Army officials are prosecuted based on this report, and in this particular one, the Mandiant security firm has used this 4C model to figure out the culprits behind this particular attack. So we will look into that 4C model, and now in this slide I will basically try to explain what are all the different phases of this 4C model. But in the upcoming slides you will get to know the in-depth insights of this 4C model. So we will try to correlate that with the APT one investigation case, so that you will get a clear picture about how this 4C model will work in practice. So broadly speaking, there are four phases in this 4C model. So first phase was collect, cluster, charge, and communicate. So in this collect phase, as we all know, like how we so how the security firms will try to collect the data from the jump servers, or the C2C servers, etc. So similarly, we will security firms will go and investigate on the victims networks and collect some indications of compromise. In the cluster phase, regardless of whatever the information that they have found, they used to group them as a intrusion sets. And in the charge phase, they will go in the y-axis. So they will try to investigate at various different levels, as we discussed earlier. So first level was at the what identifying what is the motivation of this attack, and then they will try to go for the country, and then they will try to identify the individual organization or the person behind this thing. Then based on all these charges, they will try to propose a hypothesis in the communication phase, and they will give the confidence scores to the hypothesis in the communication phase, and they will accept them, and some of them they will reject them, so based on the evidences. So this is how the 4C model will look. But to get a better understanding, we will look into that with a reference of APT1 investigation done by the Mandiant. So now you can see in the collect phase, Mandiant has investigated more than 900 C2C servers in the victim machines, and they have visited across various nearly 140 victim companies, which are directly affected because of this APT1 campaign. So from the all 140 companies, they have found various different of malware families, and they have collected all those information and the logs from the various companies in the collect phase. But coming to the clustering phase, so there are two main important things that they have identified in the clustering phase to these segregate these malware families. First one was, there are multiple identical malware samples found in various different victim networks, which are communicating to same control and command servers. So most of the malware is trying to connect to blackcake.net or satellitebbs.com. So these two are the popular domains, and based on those two things, they are able to cluster those malware families in this clustering phase. And the second thing was, the culprit has used the same email id to register various control and command server domain names. So this was another mistake from the APT group's end, which led to progress further in this investigation. So these are all the two things based on which they have clustered the malware families. And in the third phase, charge phase, so Mandiant has looked into this case at the variance from various perspectives and various directions. So if you clearly see in the next phase, so that is the charge versus espionage. So they have analyzed the clustered events and the nature of stolen data that the attacker has stolen from this victim machine. So from that they have understood that all the data that they have exfiltrated or collected from the victim machines are directly or indirectly correlating to the China's 5 years plan. So and at the same time, attackers are active in the network, in the multiple victim networks at the same time, which is directly correlating to the official working hours of the China people. So based on these two things, they are able to come to a conclusion that this might be from China. And so that is takeaway from this crime versus espionage phase. Then in the country versus charge phase, the attacker hacked several third-party servers and used them as a jump servers, to log into several victim networks. So the attacker used the RDP login to hack into that machines and to try to access the remote desktops. So from the mandate investigation, they have found that the reverse IP addresses of from the logs directly matching to the fiber optic company in the China, and that was very specific to the Pongdong district of Shanghai. So based on that thing, and they are able to tell that so this attack is very much confidently from China. And the second thing was in the jump servers, the attackers has modified their keyboard settings to the Chinese mode. So from these two things, they are able to come to a conclusion that this is very much from the Shanghai district. And most of the APT attribution stopped at this phase, and but in this Mandiant case they went very deep, and they have investigated up to the personal level of the or organization level. So and this is most difficult part to do, in fact. So in this charge versus espionage phase, the fiber optic IP that from which the jump server was connected was assigned to the networks that was built for People Liberation Army military unit with a designated name called 61398. So and this report also publishes several names of real world identities of various threat actors who is actively participated in this campaign. First one was Dota, and second was Ugly Gorilla. This particular actor did a mistake by giving his personal phone number while registering for the email ID, and based on that email ID he has registered couple of C2C domains. So by using this they are able to identify and figure out the data. Another mistake was done from the Ugly Gorilla Sands. This name was quite popular in the dark web forums, and he has used this name to register various domain names. And his public profile also, from the social media they were able to identify his public profile and his personal identity as well, because of this particular level of attribution. So and finally, after collecting this all these things, they are able to propose different hypotheses. And this hypothesis consists of various levels. So first one was nearly impossible, that is the probability which lies between 0 to 10%. And the second one was probable, so 30 to 40%. And then next one was highly probable, that means 60 to 70%. And nearly certain means 90 to 100%. So they will assign scores or probability scores for each of these hypotheses, and based on that they will accept and reject the hypothesis. And they have collected few they have accepted, in this case they have accepted few hypotheses, and based on that thing they are able to come to a conclusion that this APT1 campaign was led by China's military wing, People Liberation Army, especially the military unit named 61398, which is located in Shanghai district of Shanghai region of Pangdong district. And they are able to attribute several threat actors and real world identities and their images of this threat actors are publicly disclosed in this investigation. So this was the high level overview of APT1 investigation done by the Mandiant. And in this particular investigation, so they have practiced this 4C model in real time. And that's why from that particular point of time this 4C model became very popular across security community. And till now couple of traditional security companies follow this 4C model in APT attribution. So in this thing the 4C model is actually flexible, and people works at different layers, and hand it over to the next layer, and the additional to provide that delta change in the additional information. And finally based on the information they will propose the hypothesis, and they will accept couple of hypotheses, and they will reject the hypothesis, and from the accepted hypothesis they are able to attribute or identify or pinpoint the attacker behind the particular espionage. So this is the overview of 4C model. I hope you got the insights of this 4C model, and hopefully we will look into the MICTIC framework. That was the popular framework used in APT attribution in the next lecture. Thank you.